Now, social media is beginning to wake up again because the BBC have presented a documentary out about the Nicola Bulley case. January the 27th, 2023, Nicola Bulley went missing while taking her kids to school. She dropped the kids off and then went on a popular walk along the river. She was on a Teams call, on a mortgage meeting, and she just simply went missing. The phone was left on the bench, and the Teams meeting was still going on at the time. The dog was at the bench, and he was found at the bench. The partner, Paul, which presents controversy because he phoned the police, and the police had recorded the call and put the call out on the documentary. Paul had no emotion at all. There were motives involved, perhaps insurance, talk about affairs from both of them, but will we know the truth? Put down in the comments what you think happened. The strange thing about this case was the expert, Peter Folding, who searched for the body and was adamant that that body wasn't in the river. 3 weeks of searching, he couldn't find the body. He had all sorts of sonar type equipment, and he said the sonar couldn't search through reeds. Came up with all sorts of ideas, but no conclusion of where she was. He was also very, very suspicious, and he said he'd never seen anything like this before, and he thought that Nicola had been murdered. Welcome to Aldon's Reviews and True Crime. So Peter Folding reassured everyone that her body was not in that river. He used all the equipment he could. He searched high and low. He used specialist divers. Couldn't find her. So was she murdered? Was she kidnapped? Was she taken away? The strange thing is, a psychic medium then cropped up into the equation. And stated that an invisible person had told him, or perhaps somebody from the other side, had told him that Nicola was in that river. He was absolutely 100% that she was in that river. What do you think? What do you think about psychic mediums? Do they have certain feelings? Now, this could have been a certain feeling that was so real to him that he knew from past experience of talking to people from the other side. And there are lots and lots of cases like this. In America more so, they use psychics. They use psychics in other countries, not so much in the UK. But if somebody says that her body is there, the police kind of have a duty to investigate it. So they investigated, researched, and took another search of that river, because the psychic medium, Jason Rothwell, went down there. He went down by the river and then pointed, there, the exact spot, there, she should be there, in the river there. So Peter Folding steps back into the river and within 6 minutes finds Nicola's body. He is then, after being really amazed, he does a 180 and says, oh yeah, well, I used the sonar equipment. The sonar equipment, he said, wouldn't really fully work before because of reeds and things. She was found within 6 minutes. So could it be that she wasn't there beforehand when he searched before? Remember, he was adamant that he searched that river high and low, couldn't find her. And all of a sudden, he finds her. Public interest and the heat was on. So if somebody did kidnap her, let's just say, I'm not saying that that's what happened, let's just say somebody kidnapped her or murdered her or both, then return to the river and dump her body when the heat would all clear and all the media etc. wouldn't have been there. When's the best time to place a body? 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 3:30. I don't think that Jason Rothwell, the medium, the psychic, had anything to do with it. But he probably put himself down as a suspect for a while. But I don't think the authorities were interested in a murder investigation. They were just, I wouldn't say happy, but happy as such that the case was closed and she fell into the river. Now, I myself thought at the time she would fall into the river because of the dog. Now, I've always grown up with dogs and had dogs, and I know kind of the way their psyche works, and this dog just stayed by the bench, by the phone. The phone. That could have been a key. Something there, the scent being there, kept the dog there. If the owner, Nicola, had fallen in, the dog would stay there by the riverbank, by the bench. So I thought that's what happened. If she had been taken or kidnapped and dragged off into this so-called van that was seen, dragged off into the bushes, onto this road, into the van, I'm guessing the dog would be where the van was. I don't know. But if the clever people had known that dog and maybe come over to the dog and amuse that dog with maybe some treats or something like that, and took that dog away just briefly out of shot, or just enough time to whip Nicola away, would that be possible? So the dog wouldn't have seen Nicola disappear because the dog was interrupted by that person. So the person was playing with the dog. Maybe, I don't know, had a treat within the bush, went and took the dog away, then came back to the bench. Then left the dog. Or maybe, I don't know, throw a ball back to the bench and then ran away in the van. This accomplice, could it be male, could it be female? Could she or he have known the dog and Nicola? Maybe she approached both of them in some sort of way to entice Nicola away from the phone or something. But I don't think she would have gone to the river whilst on the call, because she would have taken the phone with you, maybe, wouldn't you? You'd be talking, you'd blah, 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 and then come back to it. Dog goes back to the bench. Can't find Nicola, but has the scent there. The phone is there. The dog can maybe hear talking on the phone or something and thinks, well, she was here last, I'll stay here. I mean, it's an awful situation, awful thing to happen. But you can believe, and it's just my opinion, just my view, a hunch. I'm just asking the questions that haven't been answered as such. Or did she just simply leave that phone call, go to the water for some reason? Don't know why she'd go to the water, and then slipped and fell under the water under the surface and banged her head on one of those rocks, and that was it. And the tide then took her into the river, and that was it. End of. I don't hope for anything, but I'm kind of hoping that that's what happened. I don't know, maybe the psychic mediums out there can tell us and investigate more so. Can they still do that, or is it too late? I'm guessing everybody's done that, because this case has been around for a year and a half now, over a year and a half now. So we'll keep watching the BBC documentary, and we'll try and piece together a little bit more, and perhaps the case will be reopened, as it does when the public shows an interest. And we'll see. Perhaps somebody might come forward. Somebody perhaps with a conscience, or perhaps not. Perhaps this is just a mystery, another mystery. Anyway, please don't have any nasty dreams, will you? And take care. Thank you.